हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू ज्ञान फॉर मीडिया एंड आई एम कृतिका। फ्रेंड्स, हमारी सीरीज इंटरैक्टिव सेशन विद एक्सपर्ट्स में आज हमारे साथ एक बहुत ही स्पेशल गेस्ट हैं हु इज प्रोफेसर गोविंद जी पांडे। ही इज द हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मास कम्युनिकेशन एंड जर्नलिज्म इन बाबा साहेब भीमराव अम्बेडकर यूनिवर्सिटी एंड सर विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट फिल्म्स एंड विजुअल कम्युनिकेशन। इस टॉपिक के लिए आप में से बहुत लोगों ने हमें कमेंट करके कहा था कि यू नीड अ स्पेशल वीडियो ऑन दिस, सो हियर वी आर. And before we start with the video, I would like to introduce you with Sir. Sir has over 20 years of academic experience and he has got his research papers published in various Indian as well as international journals. He has also supervised around 300 short films and documentaries for which he has won numerous number of awards. So, Sir हैं हमारे साथ Professor Govind Ji Pandey and he'll be talking about films and visual communication.
Thank you, Kritika.
Yes.
Thank you, Kritika, for inviting me on Yan for Media channel. This channel is doing wonderful job for the NET, those who are aspiring to qualify NET examination. And as you said, the topic of today's discussion is film and visual communication. I'll just tell you in brief about the development of cinema in India and abroad, and then I'll move on to the visual communication. So as we all know that film is basically nothing but moving images. When Lumiere brothers in 1895 started screening moving images, they created sensation across the world. In India, this invention was not, very late. 1896, Lumiere brothers came to India, Watson Hotel in Mumbai, and they exhibited some of their films. It created sensation, and people basically, accepted it. The invention of moving images, and we call it films. Why? Because it is related with, the recording on the films. Films are known as flicks also, and in the beginning, if you observe, you'll find that the films were not very stable. Even the films of Lumiere brothers, films of silent era, those films were not very stable films. When you view those films, you will start seeing that images are not stable, rather they are flickering. That's why, because of the flickering images, films are known as flicks also. The silent era started from the exhibition of films by Lumiere brothers, 1896, and many people basically got motivated from the exhibition and started filmmaking in India. One gentleman, Dhundiraj Govind Phalke, was successful in producing India's first film, Raja Harishchandra. We all know the history of the making of Raja Harishchandra, how Dada Saheb Phalke, Dhundiraj Govind Phalke is popularly known as Dada Saheb Phalke, and Government of India has established one very prestigious award on his name also, Dada Saheb Phalke Award. So the Dada Saheb Phalke was the first person who was successful in screening first film of India, Raja Harishchandra. He was not able to find a single woman for his film. The role of Rani Taramati, wife of Raja Harishchandra, was played by one gentleman who later on became a very good actor and cinematographer. The beginning of films in India, or the history of films of India, did not portray the the contribution of women, particularly the contribution of the wife of Dada Saheb Phalke, who not only assisted him in editing but also helped him in many departments apart from fooding and other departments. The contribution of that lady is neglected by the film historian, and we shall focus on that particular aspect as well. We can divide the Indian film history in a few categories. The categories can be first starting from 1913 to 1931. That is silent era. In silent era, more than 200 films were made, but unfortunately, we have very few films with us. All those films during the last 100 years, we lost them, and a few films are there with Film Archives of India. So in a way, we lost our history, tradition of filmmaking, and nothing much is basically left with us. From 1931, when the first talkie film started, Alamara. First talkie was Alamara, and after Alamara, the Indian film movement basically started showing the stories from mythology. And when talkie came to India from 1931 to 1947, the pre-independent cinema, where directors started, portraying the social reality of India, problems of untouchability. Characters from mythology was very popular among the directors, and a few freedom fighters also find place in cinema, but the number is very few because of the pressure of the British government. 1947, when we got independence, after independence, we started again, and from 1947 to 1965, the Indian cinema is highly influenced by film noir movement, Italian neo-realistic movement, and from expressionistic cinema, expressionism. Directors like Guru Dutt, Bimal Roy, Satyajit Ray, Ritwik Ghatak, Raj Kapoor, they made films which were very close to reality, though it was not documentary, but the subject matter was very close to real, the people. The depiction was fiction. One film which is very important for understanding neo-realistic characters of cinema during 1950 is Do Bigha Zameen, where the director has described the plight of a peasant farmer, and the start of the industrialization, basically the Nehruvian policy of industrialization. Similarly, Satyajit Ray started talking about the problems of poverty, and at times people in India basically blame him also for selling poverty. But the cinema that he made, Pathir Panchali, where the plight of the problems of a priest who was not able to feed his family, and three very major important female characters: Sarbodaya, the mother, wife of the priest, and the daughter Durga. This particular film, Pathir Panchali, was based on a Bangla novel, and in Satyajit Ray's film, the issues were very close to reality, but depicted through fictitious characters.
So, this movie that you're talking about, Pathir Panchali, is it the same we talk about in Apu trilogy? Is that the inclusion?
Yes, this is basically part of Apu trilogy. And in Apu trilogy, there are three films. One is Pathir Panchali, and another one is Aparajito and Apur Sansar. Three films he made. These three films are basically the life of Apu, the boy.
As far as UGC NET exam is concerned, Apu trilogy से भी काफी questions हर साल आते हैं. The three films that you have mentioned here, sometimes उनके crux के साथ में matching के questions आ जाते हैं. So, sir, if you can shed some light on other eras of cinema that we were talking about. So, what are the other eras?
Sure. Likewise, we can now, 1965 to 1965, the cinema of India was highly influenced by the Italian neo-realistic cinema, film noir, and other, the cinema movement of the world. 1965 to 1975 saw the emergence of romanticism in India, where stars like Rajesh Khanna, Shami Kapoor, and Raj Kapoor also in many films. And it is also said that Rajesh Khanna gave 10 continuous super hit films during that particular era. Roti, Kati Patang, Aradhana, all these films are, romantic films. And Rajesh Khanna became the first superstar of Bollywood. The next era is known as the era of resistance, which we call it the films of resistance. When Amitabh Bachchan, took over the basically took over the dominating role in Bollywood, and he started dominating the era. Why Amitabh Bachchan? Why the cinema of resistance was very popular among the audiences? Because after independence, many people who born after independence, they were young, they were basically fighting for job. When they saw corruption, they resisted it, and they wanted, and they, the common man was not that strong enough to fight against those mighty politicians, businessmen. So they basically created, the cinema created a angry young man, and that kind of visual started dominating in cinema, and people started clapping for the hero because he was fighting their war. So this is how the cinema of resistance started in India. Even films like Diwar, Trishul, Zanjeer, and even Sholay. There are many films which dominated that particular era. And cinema of resistance, or angry young men cinema, basically came into existence. 1975 to 1985, the era again dominated by we call it art cinema, or parallel cinema, or cinema which was for the middle class people. The emergence of directors like Shyam Benegal, Govind Nihalani, they started making films which were basically portraying the problems of the society. Like Shyam Benegal came up with a film Ankur, where Shabana Azmi, Ankur is Shabana Azmi's first film. He started, exhibiting, he started sharing with audiences stories of, successful stories also. Like a film came in 1974, Manthan, where Smita Patel got, award for her acting also. So Manthan is a story of, flood movement, story of what we call it white revolution in India. The story of the story of Amul, how Amul revolution or Amul Kranti came to India. So see, the cinema which they started making was different, and again very close to reality, and we call it parallel cinema. And heroes like Amol Palekar, Farooq Sheikh, Nasiruddin Shah, Pankaj Kapoor, heroines Shabana Azmi, Smita Patel, and there are many, who were, not like traditional heroes. They were very average looking persons, or heroines were not beauty stars. They were very common faces, which what we call it, the bourgeois cinema, or the cinema of the middle class. After that, the 1990s, the globalization, Manmohan Singh and Narasimha Rao's combination. They started opening the Indian economy, and because of the economy, many foreign companies, many big foreign production houses started operating in India, and they changed the cinema, or the the way we were making cinema. It was also the time when in 1991 we saw the arrival of 24/7, television also. The Gulf War, because of the Gulf War and the live broadcasting of the Gulf War by cable news networks, CNN, it paved the way for the development of, the television revolution in India also. In 1991, CNN established the feasibility of transatlantic, transmission, and then many private channels started operating in India. Then Star, Aaj Tak, Z Network. So many, television channels also came in cinema, and many film channels also started. Doordarshan started its second channel, third channel. So, and they started, showing cinema also on television. So the complete, the viewing of cinema changed after 1990. The way we were seeing cinema, it changed completely after the arrival of television, because many people saw, and it was the time when the theater and the theater owner also, got a huge setback in terms of the gross income of, the theater owners,
The revenue
because
that we were generating.
yeah, the revenue, because the television, when people started watching television, for 5 to 10 years, the theater owners were not able to draw, are not able to attract audience to theater. I'm talking about, single screen theaters. So from 1990 to 2000, single screen theaters saw, decline in the income of, income from film screenings. But 2000 onwards, the arrival of multiple screening and multiplexes changed the, concept of film viewing and concept of filmmaking also. In 21st century, the cinema, again changed, started dominating the cinema halls or cinema screens, and portrayal of women in new role, new, ways started dominating the cinema. So in a way, Indian cinema is changing. Indian cinema has adapted to the changes of Hollywood, or the cinema of abroad. The Indian cinema is influenced by many ism, and it is visible on the narrative structure, cinematography, cinematic style of Indian cinema. At the end of this lecture, I would just like to thank again Kritika for calling me and giving me opportunity to deliver a lecture.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insightful lecture. I am sure कि हमारे व्यूअर्स को इससे काफी बेनिफिट होने वाला है, क्योंकि आपने बहुत कम टाइम में बहुत ज्यादा बातें बता दी. यू टॉक्ड अबाउट ल्यूमिनर ब्रदर्स, you talked about first talkie film, silent era, different eras of cinema, then about so many films and their years. So viewers, जो मेरे net aspirants subscribers हैं, please make a point that you make a list out of it, whatever sir has taught you today. And we are very glad, sir, that you took some time out of your busy schedule and आपने हमारे सब्सक्राइबर्स को, हमारे व्यूअर्स को इतनी अच्छी बातें बताई. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दैट. एंड जो लोग मेरे चैनल को देख रहे हैं, अगर अब तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज डू सब्सक्राइब द चैनल एंड डू लाइक द वीडियो, शेयर द वीडियो, एंड डोंट forget to press the bell icon which is given on the right hand side of your screen to never miss an update from Gyan for Media.